Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Liam Douglas here, and in today's video we're doing an unboxing review of the brand new Viltrox 28mm f4.5 Pancake or chip lens. Now this lens is available for both the Fujifilm X-Mount and the Sony E-Mount, but before we get into all the details of this lens, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Alright, so as I mentioned before the intro, today we're taking a look at the Viltrox 28mm f4.5 lens for the Fujifilm X-Mount. And as I mentioned before, it is available for the Sony E-Mount as well. But we're going to go ahead and open up the box here. And inside we have the warranty information and the manual. And we pull out the foam insert. And here we have the actual lens. And we'll go ahead and take it out of its little bag here. Now, this is the lens itself, and as you can see, it's extremely tiny. This is what they call a pancake or a chip lens. It's extremely small and compact, to be honest, and if we compare it here on my X Pro 3, it's not all that much thicker, the actual lens, than the camera's body cap, which is pretty impressive. Now, it does have a rear lens cap, yep. And you'll see here by the contacts, it does have full autofocus capabilities, believe it or not, as well as a USB-C port for updating the firmware in the future, like all Viltrox lenses have the USB ports on them. Now, it does not come with a front lens cap. However, it has one that's built into the lens, so check this out. This little lever right here, you flip this, and that opens up so the front element can get daylight and take pictures. And then when you're done using the lens, you can just slide that shut again and it protects the front element, which is extremely handy because then it makes it convenient to just stick your camera in your camera bag with this lens permanently mounted on it if you want to use this as an all-around, lens for travel and street photography and stuff like that. Now, it's 28mm, so in a crop APS-C body, that's going to equate to 42mm in full frame field of view. So it's a 42mm lens, a little bit narrower than 40, which some people do like to use 40 for street photography. I personally prefer 35, as you know, from all of my past videos and podcast episodes where I've talked about street photography. To me, 35mm is the king of lenses for street photography. But this is an extremely impressive and compact lens, and Viltrox has really been crushing it the last several years with their new innovations in lenses and optical technology. As you remember from some of my earlier videos, I have two of their Pro Series lenses, the 27mm and the 75, both f1.2 lenses that are incredible lenses and considerably cheaper than an f1.2 you would get from any of the first-party manufacturers. Now, they have also rolled out a lab series of lens. To me, it's kind of a weird name to give a line of lenses because it sounds like they're betas or something like that, but apparently their lab series of lenses are supposed to be even higher quality than the Pro Series ones that I currently have. But I don't know for sure. I haven't actually tried out any of the lab series lenses for myself. Now, this lens I did buy myself. Viltrox did not send it to me. They have no input in this video whatsoever. I picked this lens up myself on Amazon and thought it would be a good lens to do a review on. So what all does this lens have to it? Okay, so it's 28mm, as I mentioned a moment ago, which is 42mm full frame field of view equivalent. It is a fixed 4.5 aperture, so it's always at 4.5, so it's fixed. And this one is the Fujifilm X-Mount, and as I mentioned in the intro, it does come, or before the intro, it does come in Sony E-Mount as well. Right now, it's the only two mounts that it comes in, but I'm sure Viltrox will expand that over time, make it available possibly in Z-Mount for the Nikon APS-C bodies, as well as some of the other mounts out there. Now, it is autofocused, does have autofocus system in it, does not have any image stabilization, so no benefit there. It is a 52.07 degree angle of view. It has a minimum focus distance of 1.1 feet or 34 centimeters, and it has a maximum magnification of 0.1 times. Now it does contain, believe it or not, as compact as this thing is, it has 6 elements in 6 groups, and it has what they call a VCM autofocus system. The VCM motor, I think it stands for very, well, it wouldn't be quiet, very close motor or something like that. I don't remember. But it is a very good autofocusing system. It seems to be fast and responsive and very accurate when paired with my X Pro 3, which is the camera I've been using it with. Now, the lens is 2.4 by 0.6 inches or 60.3 by 15.25 millimeters, and it weighs 2.1 ounces or 60 grams. So incredibly compact, but also incredibly lightweight. So let's go ahead just for giggles and we'll put it on the front of my X Pro 3 here so you can see just how small it is even when it's mounted on a camera body. We'll go ahead and get it put on my X Pro 3 here, and as I said before, it's not much thicker than the actual lens body cap, the body cap for the camera. As you can see, it's not a whole heck of a lot thicker, a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. I mean, there's the two side by side. It's just a few millimeters thicker than the actual body cap for my camera. And it is a really, really cool lens. Again, it takes up very little space on the body. It's extremely lightweight, extremely compact, and does have very decent, quick and quiet autofocus. Now again, being it's an f4.5, that's fixed. You cannot change the aperture at all on the lens, but to me, it's impressive that it's this tiny and has functional autofocus that works really, really well on my X Pro 3. But what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and share some sample images with you that I captured around my home area with this lens so you can check out the quality. Now, Viltrox says that the way they designed this lens, it is designed to give nice starburst effects. So if you're shooting into the sun or shooting the sun through some tree limbs or something like that, you should get nice starburst effects. I'll have to try that out and see. I tried one the other day shooting through one of the trees in my front yard at the sun, and I didn't see a ton of starburst effect going on with it. But I'll go out and practice and try it a little bit more with this lens. But let's go ahead and show you my sample images, and then we'll come back and wrap up this video. Alright, so as you were able to see from my photo slideshow, I was able to get some pretty good images with this lens. It has decent color and contrast to it. Again, the autofocus works very well. I have no issues or complaints with it whatsoever. Viltrox, in my opinion, has done a very good job with this little pancake or chip lens, whatever you want to call it. I'm definitely impressed with it. I think it makes some really good images, and it's nice to have a lens that is so small, compact, and thin. It almost makes my X Pro 3 a pocketable camera if I didn't have some of the other hardware attached to it. But if you were to put this lens on something like the XE4, you would have a very pocketable camera that would be similar in form factor to my X100V or the X100VI, as far as it'd be like a high-end point-and-shoot camera, only you'd still have the interchangeable lens capabilities, of course, on an XE3 or XE4, something like that. But it would definitely make it a very pocketable camera with this extremely low-profile lens mounted on one of those camera bodies. And Viltrox, again, has been doing a fantastic job. They've really been crushing it. They are quickly in my opinion, moving way up the rung as far as third-party lens manufacturers. Some people have been saying in the last couple of years that Sigma's lenses, like their art series and their contemporary and sports, are getting so good that a lot of people consider them practically first-party lens makers now. And if that's the case, then Viltrox is looking to fill Sigma's void in the third-party field with the incredible lenses that they've been releasing for the last several years. Between their Pro line, their Standard line, and their Lab line, they are just really crushing it with very inexpensive yet high-quality lenses with great optics. Now, you may be wondering, what if I want to get one of these lenses for myself? Well, I'm going to put a link down in the description below. You can pick one up for yourself. I'll have the link in there for both the X-Mount version and the Sony E-Mount version. There'll be affiliate links to Amazon where you can pick them up there. Now, it doesn't cost you anything extra, just kicks back a few cents to the channel. The lens is $99 American, so it's not a super expensive lens. And in my opinion, is it worth the 99 bucks? Abso-freaking-lutely. This lens does a really great job, and it's very well made, very good quality metal construction. The autofocus is very responsive, fast, and accurate. It is definitely worth the $99 price point. So this is a really cool lens you could get for travel, street photography, certain amount of landscape photography you could do with it without breaking the bank. Just keep in mind that at the aperture of f4.5, you're going to need a little bit more light. You don't need to be in super bright sunlight, but it's also not going to be a low light performance, unless, of course, you're pairing it with one of the newer generation of Fujifilm bodies with the 40 megapixel sensor or the new stacked 26 megapixel sensor like on the XH2S, where you get much superior low light performance without introducing a lot of noise. Then this lens would work very well on one of those bodies. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch it. Please remember to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and I will see you in the next video.